The greatest single advance is mass production itself, through the moving assembly line. Starting in the car industry, the assembly line is transforming the daily lives of millions of people. Never before has a change in the way people work brought so much wealth, but also so much alienation and conflict. The workers became an integrated part of the great machine, and the management set the speed it ran at without discussion or negotiation, for unions were forbidden. The men faced new pressure as the final assembly line beat out the rhythm for the whole factory. There was no way they could stop or slow it down. Few stood the pace and din for long. Men tried it for a few weeks and then quit. But Ford had an answer. The company was making record profits. The time taken to build each car had dropped to 1.5 hours. So he could afford to raise pay. That produced the heavy machinery of the industrial age. The most respected were those whose combined physical strength and skill had taken years to acquire: boilermakers, riveters, foundrymen. As the age of steam gave way to electricity and oil, the nature of the work to be done changed too. In 1908, one man had a vision that would change manufacturing and create a new market. Henry Ford set out to make the simplest car ever, a car for rural America, a 20th century equivalent of the covered wagon.
Little old Ford rambled right along, and the little old Ford rambled right along. The gas ran out in the big machine, but the darned little Ford don't need gasoline. The big limousine had to back downhill, but the blamed little Ford is going up still. When it runs out of dope, just fill it up with soap, and the little Ford will ramble right along.
To produce the Model T as cheaply as he wanted, Ford knew he had to change the way cars were built. That meant changing the way his workers worked. America now set the pace in engineering and production. European managers and workers knew that what was happening in American factories pointed the way of the future. And workers off, more assembly line factories opened in the southeast of England. As companies saw the benefits of mass production, more men and women worked in the new way. The system was applied to batteries, vacuum cleaners, and biscuits.
There's a precision about this process that is utterly fascinating. And as one sees the orderly rows of biscuits to be, moving steadily towards the ovens, one cannot help marveling at the ingenuity of it all. Approximately a mile of biscuits, 20 deep, passes through one oven in a day.
Occasionally, the machine would be just shut off. We'd use both hands. Whack, 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 whack. It's quick. You can do really very, very quickly.
At Reading, Huntley and Palmer's built their own equivalent of the River Rouge. Flour, butter and sugar poured in at one end. From the other streamed assorted biscuits. 3,000 worked there.
It wasn't the same every day.
Only the middle class could afford to buy the cars that were being produced.
Today's woman uses the family car to take the children to school or to drive round to the shops. The car helps her to get through her daily routine quicker, leaving more time for exercise and enjoyment. It puts the country swimming pool within her reach, or takes her out to a golf course or tennis club in the afternoon. And now let's look at some of the additional accessories you can obtain for your Ford car. A combined sun visor and vanity mirror, so handy either for powdering your nose or keeping it from getting sunburnt. No need to disturb your handbag or exasperate your husband by using the car mirror. I have been keeping my most precious car possession to the last. Here it is. A radio set with which to while away long waits in traffic jams or to relieve the monotony of a long drive.
Though British employers didn't share the American boss's belief that paying high wages led to general growth, the consumer society was starting to cross the Atlantic.
This is the home of the radio gramophone. Hundreds of cabinets slowly moving on to completion. All components of the radio set are distributed by conveyors. We will just take a peep into the recording studio where Jack Hilton and his band are rehearsing.
How's that for balance, George? It's not so bad. I think we ought to have the violins up a little bit weak, you know. A bit nearer. A little more violins.
There are 2 lines of girls. I should supply them with all the bits they needed. The shutters, the transformers, and the valves, and the wire. When the girls finished the